Yo! There you are. I almost missed it. What up? What up?
Hello.
Happy Friday.
Good morrow.
It is. It's hot as fuck. Probably is in New York too. Are you guys getting this like weird little heat wave?
Yeah, a little warm. A little warm.
It's toasty.
Mm-hmm. That indeed.
And I gotta turn the AC off while I'm doing the show for you beautiful D-gens. It just sounds like...
Is it loud?
It's loud-ish, but like it's also right beside my desk, which is great
Mm-hmm.
when I'm not using a microphone.
Ah, yes.
Oh, is that your air conditioner?
Huh. Let me see if I can fix that.
Is that someone doing construction on your building?
Yeah, they're repairing the sidewalk right outside. Let's see if going to the other room will help. Apologies.
Why they gotta wait until 9:30? Don't they know?
Isn't that impressive?
Right, yeah, we were talking for like 20
There was
minutes
nothing.
for the show. Nothing.
morning.
Fire it up. Boom.
Wow. Lots going on at once. All right. Let's get going.
We'll just have to deal with it. There's really no choice about it.
Let's see. Oh, no, it's even worse out here, isn't it?
I can't hear it now. Oh, nope, I can. What? Go figure. Oh, well, whatever.
All right, don't worry. I'll figure something. I got an idea.
We'll make a little pillow for it or something.
I know, right? I got to get those foam things.
Oh, yeah. It's really not bad. No, I think you're okay. Wherever you are right now, I can't hear it.
All right.
I think we'll be all right.
Sounds good.
It actually kind of sounds like when your dog was snoring under your desk.
Oh, great.
Oh man, yeah. Funny. Yesterday we didn't quite do the show, which is fine. I think like in these times, one, it's good to take some breaks and some breathers and stuff like that, recompose. Two, there's not always a ton to talk about. Is my mic different? Oh man,
A little echoey, but you sound okay.
It's just...
There we go. That might be better.
No, that's even worse.
It's worse?
Yeah.
The fuck?
Go back to the last way. It was fine. Go back to the last way. That we can get through the show.
Now it's super loud. Oh, so all right. I'm just gonna have to use this microphone on my headset then, and I'll put this one away if something. This mic is sporadic. It's really good when it's working properly. There we go. Sounds all good. Everyone's happy. We're fine.
Yep.
Good morning. Yeah. GM. Yeah. Wait, that mic was on. I don't know.
You sound good now. Don't worry about the audio.
Beauty.
Oh.
Yeah. So, anyways, we took the couple days off of the show. Again, like we can say market is down until we're blue in the face, but you guys know that. But fortunately, we made that call, and then at like 9:20, when I was going to do the announcement in AlphaMint, my internet actually went out for a service outage. And was out for like 4 hours, so I wouldn't have been able to do it anyways. There you go.
Yes, sir.
That's my story, man. Anyways, that's the show. Thanks for tuning in.
Sorry, Simpson.
GM guys, good to see everybody here. Shivers, Dekenza, Crypto Link, Wesley, Catfish. Who else we got? Chipper said GM. Love you guys. How's everyone doing this morning? How are you doing this morning, Free Market?
I feel great, except for the hammering in my head.
Well, unfortunately, this one's not in your head. Those
Yeah,
are
I know.
Mhm.
Believe me, at this point, I'd be happy with an actual hammer to my head, but this one is outside and loud. I'm trying to remember where we left off. I think we were waiting for 75 bips.
Yeah, we were going into FOMC, so we finished on Tuesday. We assumed 75 was in the books, which it was. Markets kind of didn't respond too crazy. There was some little bit of volatility there, but I think we're now sideways from that day, if I recall.
No, we are down a lot.
Oh no, that's right. Yeah, we are down a lot. Surprise.
So, and basically, there was at least half the market that had decided that this was going to be bullish. Okay, I was one of them. I had figured that given how far we have cut, the classic "is it priced in" type of thing, and everybody had been waiting for a quote-unquote kitchen sink number. The fear has been that the Fed is behind the curve, and what that means is that they haven't raised interest rates quick enough, and inflation has gotten away from them. A bold move like 75 basis points should signal to the markets we are aware of what's happening, we are on track, and we're ready to go. Now, conversely, it's the largest rate hike we've had in years, and there's a very easy correlation in markets, and that is rate hikes mean lower stocks. Interest rates go up, it hurts the economy. There's no two ways around it. It's just a fact of how it works.
The free money is over.
Yeah, exactly. Money becomes more expensive, and especially when you are a startup, when you are a tech company, and you are heavily reliant on funding that is based on an interest rate, you're very sensitive to when interest rates go up. And the only question was, NASDAQ down almost 40%. Many of the hot tech stocks that you know and love, whether it's Square or Tesla or Peloton, which was a superstar for I don't know how many years, these stocks are 80 and 90% down. And no one is saying whether they deserve that or not. The question is, has that priced in 4% interest rates? In my opinion, and in a lot of the market's opinion, it has, right? And we're only at 3% interest rates. In other words, the market has gotten ahead of itself to the downside. So some sort of signal from the Fed that we're on top of it, we're being aggressive, you have nothing to worry about, could have caused a large counter rally, and it actually kind of did. We had a quick negative reaction upon the data point, 75 bips. Then the market ripped the other way, and it was actually a very nice rally. Now, by the end of the day, the rally had cooled off a bit. My guess is the Swiss National Bank was already selling because they knew what they were about to announce later that night. And as we ended the day, and while we didn't quite close at the highs, people were feeling kind of okay about what happened. Because it was a bullish reaction and it seemed like a kitchen sink number. We got all the bad news out. The Swiss National Bank in Zurich overnight raised their interest rate by 50 basis points as well. Now, what caught everybody off guard was that this was a surprise. People did not expect the Swiss to do this. They also committed to buying euro-backed bonds, essentially reverse QE from what they were doing. And now the speculation is, will the Swiss National Bank start reducing their books? 25% of the Swiss National Bank's assets are U.S. stocks. Okay, they have been buying stocks for years. They are one of the rare central banks around the world that admits to doing it. And immediately the next day, everything was tanking because it was like, oh shit, now the Swiss have billions of dollars of stock to unload that they're going to start unloading. So We had a pretty negative reaction. We actually made new lows on the year. We have bounced back a little bit, and I stand by my story, Samson Simpson. I believe that we have already priced this in. I do think after this weekend, we will at the very least get a counter rally. I truly believe we will see 4,400 before 3,400. And because of what has just happened, there is a chance that 30.
You're talking about S&P. Sorry,
Yes.
I was like thinking ETH, and I was like, we have to go through 3,400 to hit 44. I gotcha. Good.
Right. So I am of the belief that the S&P will see 4,400 before 3,400. Now, I think there's an 80% chance that we revisit our lows, maybe even make those new lows of 3,400 in the fall. I think there's a pretty good chance of that. I also think now, and I would have maybe ascribed a 5% chance, I think there's about a 20% chance we avoid that. I have been talking about for a month, inflation numbers have already been cooling. The worst is behind us. We are reacting to things that have already happened. And it cost me a little money because I was a little early with that thinking. And when we got the CPI number that was hotter than expected, everybody acted like it was the first time they heard about inflation. Obviously, the markets threw a temper tantrum, forcing the Fed to do what they did. And we are now kind of in the middle. We are in the middle of a range, and we're talking about macro markets here. We're in the mid, and we'll get to crypto because crypto has its own issues. But in macro markets, we're in the middle of a range. Today is quad witching. In other words, $2 trillion of futures and options contracts are all going to be expiring today. People are going to be rolling over. Some are going to be, most are going to be expiring worthless. That is going to cause a bipolar market today in which you can't glean too much. And then we have a holiday on Monday. So I don't think we will really know what's going on with markets until Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. And the one thing I will say is that there are scheduled buys of $50 billion from certain entities into the end of the month because they have to buy stock. And there are also pension plans in the United States that have to buy up to, they're not obligated to, but up to 198 billion as well. So there's potentially about $250 billion about to flow into the stock market. And that is why I think we see 4,400 before 3,400. And there is a chance that numbers will start to improve enough that the Fed will not have to get more aggressive, and we won't get quite the aggressive double dip this fall. We will probably still pull back this fall. We have to, at the very least, even if we were going to go to new highs early next year or in the fourth quarter, we got to set a nice bear trap in October. So you're going to see a pullback. To me, the only question is, are we going to make new lows or are we going to kind of create an inverse head and shoulders pattern around 4,000? That's kind of my best guess, is that we rally to 4,400 and then pull back to 4,000 into October. But there is a chance we make new lows at 3,400, depending on how the economic data has been coming at us.
Yeah, there's definitely lots to take in there. So after this kind of quad witching scenario, is there like some range of like smooth sailing, or is there more kind of like speed bumps?
No, well, it's not that it would be smooth sailing. It's that we can continue. We could either continue the trend we were on or reverse it. And if we continue the trend we're on,
meant for like federal announcements and like all of these things kind of lining up.
And all I'm saying is that you're not going to get a good tip on direction. I expect the market to be up. I expect the market to be down. I expect it to be everywhere today because people have to roll over bearish positions. People have to roll over bullish positions. Weird things are expiring that they have to buy new things. There's all sorts of like bookkeeping that's going on today that's going to mask. Now, I mean, not saying that. Look, if some large entity or entities all of a sudden decide today's the day to buy, even into quad witch, maybe it could or vice versa. If large entities think today's the day to sell, maybe we do start accelerating in one direction or the other. I expect us to be pretty bipolar today, and then not really come up with a direction till Tuesday. Monday, we're going to have shortened hours with futures, and the market itself will be closed. Futures love.
What's going on Monday?
I don't know. It's a bank holiday in America. I didn't even look what a June. Let's see. Juneteenth, I believe.
Oh, right. Okay.
Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gotcha.
So,
Well, yep.
No, so that's really it. Futures love to levitate up in low liquid holidays. So on Monday, you could see futures, magically levitate 50 points up and then give it all back by the time we open. Weird things happen during the low liquidity holiday moment. So it's very hard to glean action over what's happening now. Look, unless we got a decided break in either way. I mean, if we really took out resistance to the upside or support to the downside, I'm sure we could glean some stuff. I expect us to be stuck in range. So,
gotcha. Thanks, guys. Yeah, no, I actually know Juneteenth. We don't have that here in Canada, so when it kind of pops up, like I'm aware.
You guys have poutine.
We have poutine. Yeah, completely different. But yeah, thank you, chat, Chris, Shivers, CryptoLink, appreciate it. Right now, S&P kind of rallying, but as free market said, it's pretty hard to trust any numbers on these days. It'll be pretty sporadic.
And we did rally last night. I really do think there's a general exhaustion of sellers here. We don't necessarily need buyers to step in. You just need sellers to get exhausted, and then short coverage is going to happen, right? So regardless of if it's a major trend change or not, it really does feel like we've run out of sellers, at least temporarily, and we would need some sort of exogenous event to get them back selling at these. Look, I mean, these guys aren't stupid either. They know if they stop selling and just chill for a bit, market will levitate higher and they can sell high. You're only selling here if you're forced to. Nobody wants to sell here. You're selling here if you're forced to. So we'll see. It feels like the market is due for a pretty nice counter rally here. Though, again, 4,400, that'd be bouncing right into the downtrend line for the year. And believe me, people are going to get excited and bullish. Like, 4,400 is not too far from the all-time highs of 4,800, and people are going to be like, what were we even freaking out about, right? Good data. We'll have like 4 or 5 good data points by then. People will be like, oh, maybe that was the da-da-da. Everything's going to look all hunky-dory. Then all of a sudden in like September, some weird PPI print or CPI print's going to come out of nowhere, and they're like, oh, God, inflation's back, something like that.
Man,
it always happens. Like
you know what? It is crazy watching these markets kind of wreak havoc on people's I guess opinions is what I want to say, because I don't want to say mental state or anything like that, because it's tough and that's always a difficult thing. But like, the same people that were like bullish and screaming buy at like ETH at like 4,400, 4,500, this thing's going to 10K. Like, it's so incredible how quickly this market can turn your rationale on its head and just say like, it's over, everything was a scam, it's done, 1,100, this thing's going to 3 digits, and like, I'm out. Right?
You're talking about bulls who never thought we were going to lose 1,700, and I was one of them. Okay, but we're talking about bulls who never thought we'd even get here, now calling for $800, $500, and $300 price targets. It's like
500 to me would be aggressive. 800 would be, I don't want to say expected, but I could see it. 500. I think if we hit 500, it's like 6 or 8 months from now, and people are just like exhausted from it. Like, it's not even that there's bearish people, it's just like everybody loses interest. Discord start drying up, you stop seeing people talking about it on Twitter, your Telegram or WhatsApp groups are like really just like empty. That's when we saw ETH hit like $130 last cycle. So if we're at $500 now, which is still a respectable 5x from a mere 2-3 years ago, I guess now 3 years, 2019. It's gonna be quiet. It's gonna be a ghost town. I think we're too in it right now to see 500. That's my personal opinion. Don't fucking send that to the bank.
And I will tell you right now, this is exactly how like major short squeeze reversals happen. We have the problem right now is that there's genuine systemic risk in crypto, right? There are funds blowing up all around us, and whether we are in a market mechanic that allows us to bottom or not, a forced liquidation can push us lower than we should go, or lower than support levels would normally have been. So
I will think that like if there's really really steep drops towards those numbers, and like maybe it does, like I'm saying like an extended like 500, like it's sitting there for a week or 2 weeks or a month or something like that, right? I think these big systemic risks that could cause really sharp drops will get bought up pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's very hard if you're a trader right now. Okay, there's 3 players in this market. There's bulls that are completely confused. There's bears that the only reason they seem psychic is because they've been predicting this for a long time. This fits right into their thesis. They have no problem continuing to be bearish because it fits into their original thesis. It's confirmation bias by the market. They were right, so they can continue to think this way and be this way. But it is a complete sentiment reset, with former bulls now calling for 3-digit price targets. And I think the reason it's having a hard time, look, what don't we know? It's Armageddon. Tell me why people aren't out there selling all their ETH right now.
I can tell you what I do know. I do know, and I'm going to just say this every day that I have. It's playing out the exact same way now that it did in 2018. Can't go any lower. Some people say it will go lower. Everything's dead. Crypto's dead. It was a good run while it lasts, guys. See you on the other side. We'll find something else to do. Blah 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 blah. Like it's verbatim. It's verbatim the same discussions going on. Like you could put 2 conversations, one from 18 and one from 22 side by side, take the dates off of it. You would not know which market it's referring to, provided there's no actual like a currency like value numbers in there. It's all the same. And every time it happens, it bounces back. It happened. This is probably the 4th or 5th time Bitcoin's going through it. It's the 3rd time ETH is going through it. These big ones always come out the other side. There's going to be a lot of shit that doesn't make it through this. But the one thing I do know, and this is going to go back to like this market in particular, is that coming into 2019 and the beginning of 2020, right, we're sitting right here. COVID hit right about there. ETH bottomed out at just over $100 there. And ETH sat around for a long time. Bitcoin started to pick up steam in the summer here, August. It would have been a bit sharper up here. But ETH sat down. So, look, all this time, $400 or $500, not a lot of interest in there. Most people were just DCAing, but we didn't have institutional interest at that point because there was no pressure on the banks from retail investors saying, I want crypto exposure. Why aren't you providing me exposure to crypto? How do I get into this? All of a sudden this starts happening and people start going, we need this. Why can't we have crypto? How are we missing out on this market? How is our retirement fund missing out on this market? How is, my mutual funds or whatever, all of this shit missing out on it? But banks are fucking slow. Right? They need approval, or big companies, all these things. Like they need approval, they need board approval, they need customer approval, sentiment, all this stuff, right? So they lag behind. They're going to try and get in somewhere around here probably, and they probably did. And we get this. These big institutions are now that they have approval and they understand the time horizons and they're not day trading this shit. They're looking at 10 years out. They're going to be more than happy to just start slowly accumulating at these prices for as long as possible. They love to buy ETH at $800 because the reality is the ones in the system that were making the choices probably wanted to buy ETH at $500, $600, $700, $800, $2,000. But with how slow everything moves in those giant corporations, because there's so much red tape, you know, they can sometimes miss the boat here. But we've hit, I think, mainstream, I don't think adoption, but acceptance. I think most, like, the awareness of most people, it's all fucking anybody is talking about right now. Like, you know, like people are messaging me that I don't really talk to, like, oh wow, crypto's really taking a hit. Like, yeah, I fucking know, it's fine, but that actually makes me bullish because everybody is aware of it. Everybody is aware of it, and that next cycle, everyone's gonna go, huh? It's not dead. I thought crypto was dead. It's not dead. Oh, maybe I should start taking this seriously. And this time, it's everyone. In 2018, it wasn't everyone talking about Bitcoin. It wasn't everyone talking about Ethereum and the crypto market crashing. There was a lot of people. This time, it's fucking everyone. I've been out to restaurants. I've heard older people being like, man, that crypto really dead this time, eh? I'm like, yes. Perfect. That's where I'm at.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you agree with that. Like, am I right or wrong with the institutions being able to buy? Like, they lag behind because there's no pressure for people to want the banks to buy it when crypto's just been trading sideways for that long.
Yeah, probably. That sounds logical to me.
Right, like all the I don't know. That's my maybe that's just my cope strategy, but I think that
I think that smart money is accumulating here, and I think they'd accumulate down to triple digits. I think the only people who are nervous here are people who are trading on leverage, which there's a great account you can follow called Wrecked that shows you all the liquidations in live in real time. It's a fun account to watch.
Well, speaking of Wrecked, the talk of the town is 3AC right now. They are having a tough go, and obviously this is putting a lot of downward pressure. We've already mentioned it earlier when you were talking about things that can kind of make this market capitulate lower. But about 10 billion with a B dollars in assets under management, and I did see a tweet. I wish I'd pulled it up. That was basically showing them some of their accounts transferring like $130 of sushi and $10 of USDC and like basically just scraps to Binance for, I guess, their margin payments or whatever it is, the loan payments. This is definitely just like one of their algorithms cleaning up dust out of their accounts. Like I don't actually look too much into that, but it is funny to see such small amounts coming out of their account.
Something weird is going to happen over the weekend. We'll get some rumor or report that one of the blowups wasn't as bad as we thought, or that 3AC got rid of most of what they needed to last week, and that huge cost slushing down, or there will be something that you didn't expect this weekend, and you'll wake up to ETH up $200 on Monday to $400 below where I thought the bottom was. So it is not going to be any type of rally that like changes lives, but I just think that we're very close to one of these, small and shit. We were there the other day. That's only 1280. It's crazy how this 20% range just feels like nothing because it slices through it like butter. Like levels that you looked at and it was like, oh, this is support. It just sliced through like butter. Just really magnificent to watch. Eventually, the money becomes too easy on the bear side. It does happen eventually. Once you start seeing bears automatically make money from their shorts and it becomes too easy, you tend to get the big counter rallies. And I really don't think people are shorting down here except as a hedge. Like, I don't think there's a ton of new, and I'm not talking about day traders or people playing, small levels. I don't think you're seeing people like, yep, we're going down another 50%. I'm going to open a life-changing short here there's too much risk here to be opening big shorts that you're not thinking about, short-term daily fluctuations and all that. I don't think people are even getting short down here. I think people are just waiting to see how bad the fallout is going to be from all these forced liquidations.
So, yeah, I guess as it kind of turns out that this 3AC was doing most of their unloading last week, and that was kind of where the pressure on Celsius was coming from. Is that correct? That seems to be where people are at right now. Do I have that right?
It seems that most of the selling, or a lot of it last week, we attributed to Celsius was actually 3AC. So but we don't know how much of that covered their obligations, right? You still have new reports every day of this guy not being able to get his money and this person not being able to withdraw their funds. The latest I think we had is that they have hired outside advisors to come into the firm and help them get their books straight and pay everybody back. So,
is there the potential that some very wealthy funds or individuals can come in and start buying up their debt or their leverage or their holdings?
Start buying all their locked coins at a massive discount like that. Right. This is what's there. all that paper wealth. They're going to get marked down massively by the sharks that are going to come in. And, I keep telling you guys, there's $3 trillion in cash on the sidelines waiting. This is a very different, quote unquote, liquidity crisis compared to others. This is less of a liquidity crisis and more of a faith crisis. This is fear of spending power diminishing. And when that happens, people just tend to sell and wait, and they don't ask, and they wait. And then the moment it feels like your spending power is starting to come back, they jump back into risk assets. So that's what we're waiting for.
You got it. How you feel about Elon getting sued for $235 billion for his Doge, quote unquote, Doge Ponzi pyramid scheme?
I think it was brilliant to start that high, because now like 20 million seems like, here's 20 mil, just go away, right?
That was 100% what I was thinking too, because everyone said, $258 billion, that's 3 times the market cap of Doge at its high. Like, what kind of lawsuit is this? This is negotiation at its finest, baby. Like, yeah, even coming out of this with like a cool $1 billion, I think would be a huge win. And everyone, going to 258 that they asked for, like, no, they're probably not even remotely expecting that number.
Yeah, they were sending a message that we are going to extort you for a certain amount of money, so that and we're going to threaten you with SEC type of stuff by making it public. They're trying to.
I don't think that anything happens unless it's one of those. Here's a 10-figure check. Just go away, please.
Right.
Like, he did all of this. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say all of it. He was very public about it, right? It wasn't. He was on SNL. Doing skits about Dogecoin, tweeting all of that stuff.
And what is their accusation here? That he was selling Doge into that pump? What was the benefit?
Yeah, just price manipulation, pump and dumping.
So he was dumping. He was selling Doge into his statements. Now that would be surprising to me.
I don't think that he's probably ever sold any of his crypto.
Neither do I.
They're such small numbers for someone like Elon Musk. Like, we toss around billions of dollars, or we talk about billions of dollars, like big numbers in this. But let's look at Dogecoin at its high was $88 billion in market cap. That's less than Elon Musk is worth. Like, Elon's not sitting there being like, man, I'm going to make a couple $1,000,000 on this Doge trade. Like, that's fucking sweet. This guy makes what, like, in value, in net worth, especially while the bull market was on, tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars a day in like net worth value, right? He's not sitting there on the sidelines shit trading Dogecoin off of his tweets. Maybe he is. I don't know. Fuck. I guess the only thing that I could say is for some of these people, like we heard it with Michael Jordan a lot, these hyper competitive, needing to be at the top people. It was never about the money. It was about the winning. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, like, I guess you could start to talk me into that. Like, I don't know Elon Musk personally. I don't know if he's got that like hyper competitive like winning edge. Like I think he wants to grow, expand, build things as big as possible. That's obvious, but like I don't know if it's like I need to crush every single person in my wake. Like there were those stories of Michael Jordan betting with like the ushers of like who could throw a coin closest to the wall for like $100, and he would like happily take their money.
Yeah, and I firmly believe he'd be happy spending $200 million crushing these fools for life than handing them over $20 million for something he didn't do, because he is very wealthy and very petty. So,
is he petty? Yeah, he is. You're right.
Mhm.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. That's gonna be. It'll be interesting to watch. I actually wouldn't be surprised if you never hear of this again.
Right.
Like if this was never a headline again, wouldn't
Mhm.
surprise me in the least. Most of the world's wealthiest individuals have bought digital assets. A majority of millionaires polled for the Capgemini World Wealth Report have invested in digital assets, including cryptocurrency. This,
Time to double down, bitches.
yeah, I mean, when this is a double-sided coin because high net worth individuals have the means to dabble and have like large portfolios of different assets and you know very diversified portfolios and whatnot. But I mean, look, 71% of the 3,000 high net worth individuals polled globally have invested in digital assets. Wealthy people are in on this, and I can promise you, of those 3,000, probably 2,900 of them don't fucking care about the price right now. There's probably a couple that have maybe overexposed themselves, but yeah, I you know, smart money has been moving into this industry for many years, and this is a short term road bump, speed bump, sorry. So, but I will say I was pretty surprised to see it at 71%. I would have thought maybe like 40%, somewhere in there. Does that number seem high to you, or actually even low?
What was the number?
71% of the 3,000 that were polled. I mean, there's more than 3,000.
Yeah, no, I think it's a stupid metric. I don't even know.
No, that's fair.
It's a very small sample. So there's 1 million millionaires in the world. I don't know.
Fair. Yeah, no, I just this is what we're doing these days, just pulling up articles and trying to find the good and stuff, right?
Well, $2 trillion has been sucked out of the crypto market, so I'm going to say that whatever they put in is not worth much anymore if they didn't take it out.
Yeah, maybe they're not high
They
net worth.
could quadruple down now. If any of the millionaires polled or listening, please, we need your service. Stop selling, start buying. Thank you.
I just don't know that they're selling. I'm not convinced that most of them would care what the price is right now. I think
I hope they care enough to buy some.
Well, okay, fair. Like that would be what they care about. That is like, this is a good time to increase my exposure, which I believe a lot of them probably are. I don't think you watched this show, Inventing Anna, but Anna Sorokin, also known as Anna Delvey, is launching an NFT project. Did you ever watch that show?
And what is the show?
It's called Inventing Anna. It's about Anna Delvey, who was like she actually a really entertaining show. It's starred by Ruth from Ozark. I can't remember her actual name right now, but great actress. So Anna Delvey was this Russian-born girl that immigrated to the U.S. As a teen and in her early 20s,
Mhm.
basically posing as a wealthy German heiress. And she was so relentless and ruthless in her pursuit of wealth and fame and status that she basically tricked everybody in her path that she actually was a wealthy German heiress, even though she literally had no money to her name. Banks were giving her money, friends were giving her money, and like she was living just this absolute high life until it all came crashing down and she ended up in prison. Very fascinating story. But she is getting into NFTs now. She is out of prison, but still in custody, awaiting deportation, I believe, as she's not really any. Not really welcome in the States anymore. Rate the Anna Show from 1 to 100 Rotten Tomatoes scale. I would give it an 80%. Like, I enjoyed watching it. I thought maybe some of the journalism parts of it were like a little tiring, maybe. But by and large, like I thought, like, for a show that I know that I'm not going to have to commit to over many seasons, because it was just a mini series, like it was, I think, 10 episodes or 8 episodes, and you know that it basically just tells the whole story in that. It was a really good watch, just to kind of go through, watch one episode a night. Yeah. I mean, I would love to hear what you guys think of it too. If you've watched it, give me that percentage on the side there. If you haven't, go watch it and tell me how right or wrong I am. The one thing I will say is that when you're watching the show and she's got this accent, like, it's so awkward that you think that she's doing, like, she's butchering the accent that she's supposed to be doing. But when you actually watch videos of Anna Sorokin, the real person, like, it's bang on. Like, she's got this really weird, like, broken Russian German kind of accent. It's she did a good job of it. So if you have the time and you're looking for something to watch, I would, I'd give it a go. I mean, you'll find out in 2 episodes whether you like it or not. This NFT is an access pass, the Anna card, access pass to some of her live streams. I think where did they had the list here? Exclusive live streams, phone calls, items from Anna, or in-person meetings, depending on the tier purchased. Anna Delvey is definitely known for her propensity to scam and not hold up to her promises. So would I be spending 0.1 ETH on minting one of these 2,000? No, probably not. But that's where we are right now.
Sir.
What else are we talking about? Tag Heuer. I can never pronounce that. What's up, Backroom?
Hauer.
Tag Hauer. Sorry, yes. Want
Hoyer.
to wear Tag Heuer.
Hoyer. I want to say it's Hoyer in proper German pronunciation. I believe Americans say Hauer, but it's Hoyer.
Any 3AC news and views? I mean, we kind of talked about 3AC, but 3AC goes down, not good. I want to look up how to pronounce Heuer. Hoyer. Yeah, Tag Hoyer. You were right the first time, I think. There you go. Tag Heuer wants you to wear your Bored Ape on your wrist. The move comes mere weeks after luxury watchmaker began accepting cryptocurrency payments on its U.S. store. Again, these big brands, despite the downturn in crypto, are more than happy to take it off of your hands in exchange for their goods and services. The interesting thing, I thought, I mean, these look good. I would wear one of these. I know you're always bullish on the idea of having your NFTs on your wrist, but the curious thing that I saw was the adoption of the hexagon.
Where?
Which I know that on
Tag. Yep.
Yeah. Which I know that you were always bullish on the importance of what that hexagon means, what it's going to mean, and continue to mean. So I don't think that this was in conjunction with Twitter, but they've definitely taken a page out of their playbook and adopted the hexagon around this. You are going to have to verify that you own the NFTs, and it is not exclusive to Bored Apes. They're obviously just using Bored Apes as the marketing tool. Obviously, it's showing CryptoPunks in the background. There's a CloneX one there. They've consulted with Bored Apes, CryptoPunks, CloneX, World of Women, but I imagine that you're going to be able to connect your wallet and display your choice of NFT. I think those look pretty good. Pretty good. Back in May, Tag Heuer began accepting 10 different cryptos, including Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, to buy their watches. So there you go.
Mhm.
You in on one of these? You'd rock that, or are you happy with your Apple Watch?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy the Apple Watch. They're not bad. They're not bad.
The Apple Watch, or
I have a tag.
oh, okay.
I'm not totally against the tag. I like the Apple Watch for its utility.
Right.
I'm not the biggest watch guy in general, so
Yeah, that would be my thing. Like, I would rather, I think I would rather wear a traditional watch, like without a digital screen, unless it has that like smartwatch capability. Like, I'm getting text messages to it. Maybe this does that too. Text messages, I can answer people on it. I can check apps, get emails, whatever. Right.
Yep.
Oh, actually, in the health component, I really like the like counting your heart rate and all of that stuff. Like, I think that's all very cool. So maybe that stuff does it.
Yes, sir.
What else we got moving into NFTs? The big news that I saw over the last few days is the founders of Goblintown doxed themselves, and it turned out to be none other than the Illuminati NFT that we've talked a lot about in the past. Obviously,
Finally, they did something.
Yeah, they did something. When was that?
So this was an interesting story, right? Because I have some people, as I think we all do, who we trust, and if they say a buy this and don't ask questions type of thing, you just do it, right?
And that was Illuminati for you, right?
Yeah, right. So a friend of mine who was in on, they did actually a couple secret pre-mints, and he got me in on one of them, and he was like, just mint this, don't ask. And I was like, okay. And the thing stayed unrevealed for like 2 months. Like, I was just like, all right, whatever. I don't remember what I bet, 0.2 or something. It was an expensive mint. Then they opened it up to the public, and I was actually able to mint another couple more. I figured might as well have a few in case this turns into something. And the reveal was amazing, and it was an awesome cook. The people loved the art.
The art. I've always been very appreciative of the art that they managed to do. Yeah.
Some of the better, more unique art out there for a PFP project, and
wouldn't even say it's a PFP. Like, it has the elements for sure.
Right.
Like, I mean, just how different they all are, and how they manage to integrate the different styles, the different layers onto the the pyramid that they have there. Like, they are just really cool to look at, and there's lots of interesting ones that, like, even on the floor, you just look at them and go, wow, that actually looks pretty dope.
Right. And they went up, I forgot, 0.7, 0.8. They had a nice little cook after.
I think they very briefly touched one.
Very briefly. But then it was just dead for months. Like, they have a Discord, and there was some merchandise and then a few things.
Like the alpha room and stuff like
that.
Yeah.
And there were different levels of participating in this Illuminati. But it was always all very mysterious. My thesis was a very important person told me to buy, and they have the @truth handle on Twitter, which isn't an easy handle to get. So they must be somebody doing something. And like you said, big reveal. They are the creators of Goblintown, the hottest collection of the bear. And
by far.
And the truth, or the Illuminati NFTs, rallied up to 1.25 ETH. At one point, which was a high in ETH terms, but nowhere near a high in USD terms, as ETH is much, much lower than when these minted and hit their high back in January. So.
Yeah, which is, I don't know, it's like still, it's kind of cool to me. Like, obviously ETH being low sucks, but I mean, if you're not withdrawing ETH for cash, like, you get a double whammy there of like being able to trade for a profit on your ETH investment and still get to claim a capital loss on that if it was lower, or a very small capital gains. So if there's some silver linings to be had.
We do love that.
What, the silver linings?
Well, no, it's a great factor.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, in this particular moment, that you could stack ETH and take losses at the same time.
Yeah.
Usually, it's the other way.
Very, very much so. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just like now thinking I have a couple of these. I didn't sell into the pump. There's a couple of reasons for that. They are. The team did hold back 1,000 goblins from the mint, so there's 1,000 that they've been keeping in their own wallet for Illuminati holders. I guess their plan was to always put this out there, but I don't really. It seems, and I believe it's genuine, that they did not expect goblins to be what what they became. So they probably drew it out a lot longer than they had first intended to. But so yeah, if you are an Illuminati holder, you will have a shot at an airdrop of a free goblin. Essentially, it's about a 1 in 9, right? There's 8,100 of these in there, and they have about 1,000 of them. So, or I guess about a 1 in 8 chance. But they're going to be dragging it out for a long time too. I saw that it was like over 90 days or something like that. They're going to be airdropping like 5 or 10 a day. So, I guess if you're, if you want to hold on to one of those chances and grab yourself a goblin.
What are they? Oh, they're airdropping goblins to random truth holders.
Yeah, it's at this point holding one is like a bit of a raffle. I honestly think that like some of that is baked into the price. Obviously, you could do some quick math and be like, well, if a goblin's 3 ETH and you have a 1 in X shot, then Illuminati could be worth this, and you can play that game. But I really do think that now this at Truth Collective has a lot of attention on them, and I think that it's going to be a reasonably strong team to bet on going forward. Was Goblin's luck a flash in the pan, or did something finally click for them to like really get it? So, I mean, I don't know. This was always a lot of my stuff is just long-term holds, but maybe it's just me talking myself out of selling them. But I think I'm gonna hold on to them for longer now. If this had just gone on a random pump to like 0.8 and it wasn't based on like being the founders of Goblin Town, like it probably would have been a pretty good exit point personally. But yeah, so still holding on to my rank 30. Put it up for sale for 20 ETH, but this was one of those things. People weren't really buying rares either. You would see them go for maybe 2.5 ETH, 3 ETH. I think I saw one go for 4 ETH during that pump, but it was like rank 19.
You got a 1 of 1 or a high ranker? I forgot.
I don't have a 1 of 1. It was a high rank.
It was a high rank.
Yeah, I think there's 7 or 9 or something 1 of 1s in there, and they're all kind of tied for rank 1. And then yeah, so
but you got all their airdrops and stuff, right? Like you
saw, those went on a run too. I know
they were like
those.
Yeah, easily worth 0.6, 0.7 in total if you add them all.
Yeah. So. I didn't sell any of those. There was part of me that's like, if they're doing weird, secretive shit like this, and then all of a sudden they come out and be like, hey, we've got a bunch of goblins that we're going to airdrop to holders. There was part of me that's like, maybe never having transferred one out, or never transferred 3 of them out, or having all of these airdrops that you've got along the way are going to be beneficial. So, I mean, I'm just standing pat.
Well, they even call that one that's worth like 0.4 now as a mint pass or whatever. Did you see that?
Yeah.
So I don't, that one, I'm wondering if that one's more valuable to hold than the true. People are sleeping. Who knows what those are for? So let's see. I'm just happy that this kind of came to fruition. I think people were confused. I still don't even know if we understand what they're doing here. Do they have private funding like Yuga? Honestly, no idea. But would I be surprised? No, because the person who told this to me is a very, very wealthy VC. I'll say that. Who told me I need to mint these? No, God. Now, who Who? Maybe it is Yuga. Maybe that rumor comes back around. We find out this was some subsidiary and it was all a game. And so, so who knows? Who knows? But they are certainly somebody, whoever they are.
Yeah, and that was the other thing, like in terms of like a bull case on this, like they have @truth on Twitter, like Free Market said, like don't underestimate what it takes to get an handle like that.
You need connections. You usually need Hollywood or Silicon Valley connections to get something like that. So that's a good sign, right? I mean, and then it's coming to fruition. I can't wait to get I'm getting like a Illuminati hood and robe like they wear in those secret meetings, and they're sending it to anybody who owned, I don't remember what it was, 5 of them or
yeah, I think it was 5 for that one. Yeah, I never bought more. I minted my 3, and it did raise an eyebrow when Goblin Town's Twitter handle got the verified check mark so fast. Fair. Also a valid point. So on their website, truthlabs.wtf, Truth Labs is a collective of creators working in the Web3 space. We feel that the decisions made by those who are active in this space today will have a significant impact on what happens in the creative, financial, and social spaces for the foreseeable future. We are dedicated to sharing delightful blockchain mischief, exploring creatively, developing rich, fun worlds and experiences both IRL and in the digital realm, and providing a platform for new voices and visions in this space. I mean,
yeah, who knows who they are, man?
That's a pretty generic, like.
It is, but like, it could be big players in our space that are doing like an anon thing. The way that was phrased, I'm not saying it's people or just using him as an example, but the way that they phrase it, it could be like, it could be Pranksy and these type of people kind of together in a thing. So
I wish I had been paying attention more to the Discord too, because that's one that I kind
of
they
dropped their Genesis ones, 17.
The 187, yeah, they slow reveal, but one of them's a goblin now. These things, yeah, so 17 ETH floor, only 187.
Whee!
Yeah. Is Moon rocking as we speak?
What? Who?
I don't know.
Oh, Truth is right now? Hold on.
You guys saw the price. I
saw it was 0.8. That was already up 0.2 from yesterday.
Yeah, it fell down to 0.6 yesterday. It was 0.8 when I woke up this morning, so it's at about 0.8 right now. Still low listings, so I think we shook out most of the people. Again, this minted back in December. There were a lot of people, I think, quote unquote bag holding this that probably don't give a fuck about goblins, and they're like, this is the great time to sell. The listings went from like 200 up to 800, 900, like very fast. Now it's dropped down to 600, and I think we're starting to reach a point where a lot of people that are holding this are people that want to continue holding this. Like if we go do a little price check, let's just check out how it is to 1.5 ETH. We're only 324 items, which really isn't that much to 1.4. So even a lot of these items, or a lot of these Illuminati NFTs are listed like well above floor. Like I said, for instance, I listed mine for 20, and I was just like, if it goes for 20, it goes for 20. Wasn't expecting it, but sometimes these pumps get pretty crazy and people start shopping for rares. So I just put it up there and left it. But it's actually probably unlisted now. I can't remember the time frame that I put it on for, but yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a cool story. We definitely didn't talk about Illuminati a lot for the past few months, as nothing was really substantially going on with them. But I was always pretty bullish on the weird kind of secretive Illuminati vibes that they had going on. They were playing the game. Interesting, if nonetheless. And then, of course, you had mentioned that someone told you to buy and hold. That was said on the show too. That wasn't like something like we're now just telling you, like, yeah, someone important said it. Like, yeah, we dropped all of that information out there. Be fun to watch where this goes, though. I think now this looks like a great long-term hold. I wouldn't, obviously NFA, but if you're extra liquid, I wouldn't even think maybe 0.8 is an awful entry here.
Mm-hmm.
I think the goblins have really. I think they're really going to hold a special place in NFT traders' minds as we go through this, bear market, as we come out of it eventually, and as we kind of reach a new paradigm in the future. Like I think that I think we make fun of Gary Vee deciding that crypto skulls is historic, which by the way is sitting at a 0.3 floor right now, and so many people got just absolutely fucking wrecked on that. But I think Goblin Town is going to be considered a historic NFT collection in the future.
Agreed.
Right. So.
Agreed. I said it. The only bearish thing I ever said was sell at 9 because I thought it was the top. But I love these. I love the goblins, the energy all that beautiful stuff.
Yeah. And
boy, just like all of us, man. When they were 9, ETH was $2,000, right? Like, ugh, that's even because now they're still at 3 ETH, which is impressive for anything, I suppose, in this market. But boy, when you factor the ETH price too, man, we are all down battery. Down battery.
We will prevail. Interesting news going on. Are you okay over there? Something just
prevail is a strong word.
What's that?
I said prevail is a strong word.
Is it?
I am just kidding.
Trying to rally the troops here, man. Inspire some confidence. This is our Braveheart moment.
Yeah, I was, please, all of you out there with millions, and I know there's a bunch of you in our audience, start buying coins. This is absurd. This is absurd.
What's going on with ETH? Oh, we are headed down back towards that 1,000.
And again, I am.
Oh, nice.
I am kidding. Don't go catching knives for no reason. DCA if you're a normal person, but
we are at 1,069.69.
Yeah.
Nice.
And leverage. I want to read something that Gainsey tweeted out. Okay, because this is what people got to understand.
You want to send it to me, or is it?
Yeah, I can send it.
Or it's Gainsey. I'll just look it
up. But he talks about leverage because there is this. You're not supposed to use leverage and all that type of stuff. You're not supposed to use leverage on your whole account if you're inexperienced. Understand though that leverage is the great equalizer. It is largely gone in traditional markets. Traditional markets are very regulated. And if you want margin, you have to put up a lot of money on your own. You have to have a credit check. You have to have good standing. I mean, you got to jump through a lot of hoops. You want 100x leverage in crypto, there's 17 options for you. And you can very easily, with a few clicks, have that. And it's dangerous, for people who don't know what they're doing, don't understand it, aren't good traders. That said, for people who actually know what it's like to be poor as shit and need to trade dust daily to make it because you drew a shit hand in life and weren't meant to make it, leverage is the ultimate equalizer. If you were really fucking about it, you'd understand. It's always people who have never struggled that don't get it. You think it's funny when you bust an account and have to trade pocket change. Then you go up 10% on a trade, but you only had $100 of exposure on a 10x levered trade and only made $10. That used to be my reality. Literally, the only thing that got me out of bed was knowing that if I got good enough, I could turn my dust into a trading bankroll on 100x leverage and never look back. So understand that leverage is not something to be trifled with, but I think that understanding how it is the great equalizer in life, it is what Western society was built on, was leverage. When you take a loan, you're getting leverage, okay? Understanding how to use it properly can take the worst year of your life and turn it into the best year of your life. Could also take the best year of your life and turn it into the worst year of your life. Understand when to use it and how to use it. Go read the Gainsey thread. Good thread.
Yeah, and I think the important thing to put into context here is like understand it, right? Like don't put yourself in a position where you can be easily liquidated because one bad trade can erase everything that you've worked so hard to do. But yeah, leverage is
if you have $1,000, you isolate $100 of it into your leverage account and you learn. And you do that 10 times. And if you go broke, you go back to work and you save up another $1,000. The most important thing you can do is be honest with yourself. Don't worry about losing money. Worry about being honest with yourself and figuring out what you did wrong. There is a method to this. You can get rich. The most important factor in that is honesty and adjustment.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna bring it back to no, sorry, were you finished that thought?
That was it. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna go back to when like I played poker semi-professionally. I know you were way more professional than I was, but you have these rules that you have to follow, and they're not universal rules, they're personal rules, right? It's for discipline, it's for not overextending yourself, and it's for longevity. One of the biggest things was, as Free Market just said, honesty, right? Honest with yourself as to like what position you're in, where you're being. And like I had a thing where I had one person that I told every time I played whether I won or lost and how much I won or lost. I could lose $500 in a night, $1,000 in a night, which now in like crypto sense seems like minuscule, but $1,000 cash in a night, because you don't go to the casino every time and win. You just don't. You can't have that expectation either. But I was always honest with this person. This is how much I lost. This is what I played. This is how long I played for, because you need to keep yourself in check. The second that you start lying to other people about it, or you start lying to yourself about it, man, it's a dark rabbit hole to kind of go down, right?
And remember, you are not playing the market. It is not you against the market. It's you against you.
Mm-hmm.
The market is the weather. Okay. Sometimes it's sunny and you can get a tan, and sometimes it rains. All you can do is open an umbrella. You can't stop it from raining.
You're playing probabilities, right?
Right.
You could be right 90% of the time, but you could get that 10% going against you 2-3 times in a row. And it's so hard to sit there and go, am I actually doing the right things? You have to have that conviction in your head, your own discipline, to keep making the right choices. Because if you're on the other side of that and you're the person chasing that 10% every time for a 2x gain, it's a losing proposition. You got to let them run hot for a little bit so that you can get yours eventually, because those people playing that 10% for very low payouts, those are the ones that end up going broke. But it's so hard to sit there and lose 2-3 times in a row more when you know you're making the right plays. But it's those people that just continue to make positive EV moves, whether it's in poker, whether it's in these markets, whether it's in NFTs, all of that stuff. Small plus EV, not even small, plus EV decisions work out for you in the end.
I will tell everybody listening, if you want to become a trader, especially a leverage trader, you need to read Reminiscence of a Stock Operator by Lefebvre. It is a biography of Jesse Livermore, and it is much less about his methods, as we actually all use his methods now, moving averages, and that was novel back then. He invented that shit. He was doing it before we had names for it. So you're not going to get any like magical formula secrets from this book. This book is going to let you into the psychology of what trading is. It's about discipline, and it's about learning yourself. Once you've learned yourself and you have discipline, the technical part is not that difficult. In fact, after a while, you don't even need the lines on the chart. You don't need the fancy indicators. You kind of feel it. You kind of see it there. You could get by with some very, very simple stuff. It's about learning who you are. And I recommend that book beyond most others. I read it a long time ago, but I actually just read a great biography as well someone got for me called Boy Plunger, which is it's a more zoomed out look, combining the facts that, because Reminiscence of a Stock Operator was written in a fiction form. In other words, Livermore did not want people to know at the time it was about him. So he wrote it, and many people believe it was actually him who wrote it, and Lefebvre just edited it. But it was released under the guise of a fictional book created by Lefebvre. And it is probably the best look into what a leverage trader goes through, because everybody back then traded on leverage. One of the large reasons for the stock market crash in 1929 was most people were trading on 10% margin. So they, it was 10x leverage for them. They only had to put down $100 to get $1,000 of shares. And learning his ups and downs, and boy, did he have them. And what went into the psychology of what he did is extremely valuable. So go check that out.
For sure, man. Yeah. It's like Mike McDermott,
Yep.
He grinded out that bankroll, made a good living, was making some serious money. He broke his psychology. He broke his method. He fucked around and went undisciplined, and he got burned.
Yep.
And you still need to watch that movie again.
Another great movie everyone should watch is Margin Call.
I watched that for the first time a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it is similar to The Big Short, but it is much better. There's less Hollywood window dressing and a lot more realness to it. I
was gonna say it's more on the ground.
Yeah.
I thought the Big Short was like a better entertainment movie, but Margin Call was fantastic.
Margin Call is inside baseball. Margin Call is a glimpse into what not only was it actually like in late 2008 and 2009, but what it's like on trading floors. You see, you get a real inside glimpse into this game. The scene in which it opens Monday morning and they have to start selling all the firm's assets, it's world class. That is as real a scene as I have ever seen in a movie.
Good cast in it too.
Fabulous.
Jeremy Irons, Paul. I'm looking it up right now. Paul Bettany.
As R2 said.
That's maybe.
And Demi Moore.
Demi Moore. Yep. Stanley Tucci.
It's harder to get the wife to watch that one. Big Short is more entertaining. Margin Call is a little drier. You really got to be into trading and finance to appreciate it.
Yeah. Good show. Or good movie. We do miss Kevin Spacey. Oh.
R2.
Good actor.
Good actor. Not the best
human being.
Not the best in his personal life. Going through some issues in London right now, in England.
Yeah, and you know what? I try not to be too quick. Well, I don't want to say this is what happened, but Johnny Depp went through that thing where everyone was quick to be like, "Oh, Johnny Depp's a scumbag," and then as it turns out, maybe not. Maybe he is too. I don't know. Something about that trial made me not really like either of them. But I digress. I know somebody that had real life interactions with Kevin Spacey at crossing paths at some parties, and the vibes were not good. And that's not even a friend of a friend. That's firsthand account. Again, that doesn't make the allegations true or false, but I wouldn't be betting on the outcome to be good.
No.
All right. What do you got going on this weekend? What do you guys got going on this weekend? It's Friday. I'm getting some tacos tomorrow.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds nice.
Yeah. Should be fun. I'm gonna drink some margaritas. Sunday might be a little bit rough.
I'll be curiously watching. I have been sitting on, literally sitting on my hands, trying not to go 10x leverage on ETH. Like, great traders tend to be contrarians. The thing is, a contrarian for contrarian's sake is poor. Okay, you can't just it's mid curve. And shout out to Shubs, who's been talking about this for a month. It's mid curve to just say, well, everybody thinks one thing, so it can't happen, right? I mean, we've seen this year that's obviously not true, as the majority of people turn bearish and we continue to go down. That said, I am curious. It feels like it's bottomed, right? Like I have been very tempted to buy 1050 twice in the last couple days. It's just this weekend. I feel like it's going to be it's reckoning time, right? It's mostly about whether these liquidations at Celsius and 3AC are going to accelerate, whether they could figure out OTC deals for their other assets and maybe don't have to hit the market. I just have a feeling this week we're either going to see a violent dip or we're going to see it have a $20 range where it's going to be like, how the hell did we stay, or a $50 range between 1050 and 1100 all weekend. So I think that it really is setting up for a rally next week. Now, I think there's maybe a 5% chance that it's a V-shaped rally back to 1800, and a 90% chance it goes up to 1250, maybe 1500, and then just stays in a range for a long time. Long time.
All right. Man, it is getting fucking hot in here with the AC off.
Whee!
The things that I do for love. All right, friends. I think that's a good time to probably start wrapping this up. Again, the show was essentially market talk. A lot more about the S&P, the Nasdaq, the traditional stock market. Then we moved into crypto for a little bit. Talked about 3AC, Celsius again, some of that stuff. What we're watching for. How low can this go?
How low can you go? Beep beep.
All I know is that it's always, I don't know. I don't know shit.
I don't know.
What I was gonna say is it's always lower than can be expected, but everybody's just throwing fucking random numbers out there at this point. So I do the people.
I am telling you, it is so hard as a trader to not get long, because I see the type of people calling for 800 couldn't trade their way out of a wastebasket, and I'm like, come on, like there is no way.
And that's not to say that everybody that's calling for 800 can't trade their way to wastebasket, but there's a lot of people that they're literally just saying.
I made this tweet yesterday. People calling for 800 from 4K, fucking Chads, the Chads of our industry that knew, right?
When it was at 4K, yes.
Right, when it was at 4K. People calling for it at 1200, fuck out of here with your 800 price targets. Come on. At least stick to your guns. I'm still bullish here, even though it undercut my target. I don't give a fuck. I don't think these people understand. Whatever. So the trader in me is just dying to contra all these num-nums, but I understand. There's liquidation risk, and I don't feel like being that liquidation this weekend. So I would rather be like, all right, because I do think it could bounce to 1500 next week by the end of next week. So I'm much more. I'd rather buy it at 12 on Monday than buy it at 1050 here and get liquidated, over the weekend while I wait for that to happen. So I'd much rather buy it up a little higher and not be wrong than to be a hero and say, haha, fuck all you 800 callers and buy here, as much as I'd love to do it. So.
I'm going to pull up this tweet. Baza asking thoughts on the 9gag team with the 5.3 ETH mint cost. Fuck out of here. I've seen a lot of that. 5.3 was only 1 ETH, a couple months ago. Doesn't change how much ETH people had. Looking in dollar terms is not always
Well, and here's where
looking in dollar terms is only relevant to people that have dollars that they want to inject into the ecosystem.
and this is the question right now, right?
And who's doing that right now? Nobody.
How much of the next bull run is going to come from new people buying ETH versus ETH whales saying, "Oh, well, it's over. Let's get back into NFTs." That's why for so long I've always said the USD amount really does not matter, except for the very, very high end when we're in a bull market. Now it doesn't matter because the people who are starting, like I have seen, I'll tell you, you know how you're near at least the bottom price-wise? Bunch of crypto Twitter people buying Bored Apes. They were finally like, oh shit, apes and punks are pretty cheap here. I saw some people wearing apes. Like I had to do a double take. I see an intelligent, sharp.
I saw someone wearing a Bored Ape recently.
Yeah. I saw an intelligent, sharp tweet, and then I saw a Bored Ape PFP. I was like, what the fuck? And then I realized it was one of these crypto Twitter people wearing a Bored Ape. So people, the people who are heavy in ETH and not worried about its dollar amount are already shopping NFTs. So
right.
I think the next NFT bull not going to have anything to do with USD. Won't matter. It's going to be people who have stacks of ETH deciding to get back in and pushing up the prices in ETH terms.
And well, there might be some, but I don't think that there's very many people that weren't already involved, were not already involved looking to jump in and just drop like massive amounts on a fresh NFT mint right now.
No, NFTs to the mainstream are dead. It was a bubble and a fad. You're not going to see anybody.
Just us right now.
Yeah, it's the same thing as that meme where everyone was lined up outside the Bitcoin stand at 69K and nobody is lined up outside the Bitcoin stand at 20K. Going to be the same thing of NFTs. They're not going to come back until we're close to the top again. It'll be the same thing. That's when they'll come back and new money will flow in.
I was always very selective about who I was talking to about Bitcoin and ETH back in 2019. Nah, 2019, I was pretty checked out. 2020 is when I started to get excited about it again. I would mention it to some people, like, now's maybe a time, and Bitcoin was like 6K at the time. Now would be a good time to just start putting $100 a week into it and just cashing it away, or like whatever, percentage of your investments into it. Just start accumulating. You'll feel really good about it over time. None of them listen to me, and that's fine. Believe me, I'm not going to sit there and be like, you need to do it. I'll just say, like, this is what I'm doing, and I feel pretty good about it. I wouldn't, it's in a good spot.
Yeah.
6K. 60K. They're like, so this Bitcoin thing, like, is it time? I'm like, no. Or just start DCAing again, like $100, like you just never stopped. You would be laughing right now. If you'd started and never stopped, it doesn't matter. 6K, 60K, whatever. But but back to free market's point, it's just like people want to buy when the price is going up,
right?
Not when the price is going down.
And I see,
market mentality.
I see a bunch of you out there with your I have a buy at 800, I have a buy at 999, I have a buy at da-da-da. You don't know if it's ever gonna fucking get there, right? And 5 years from now, you think it's gonna matter if you bought at 800 or 1,000?
Right.
What the?
And that's such a great point. It's such a great point.
Like it's and the thing is, we came from 4,800. Like I know on $800. $200 is 25%, but if you put it into perspective, that there's a reason it could move these $200 moves so fast and so rapidly. It's because I'm telling you, this is.
And all those people that at $4,000 can't wait to buy the dip, $2,000 can't wait to buy the dip, 1,500 can't wait to buy the dip, 1,200 can't wait to buy the dip, 1,000 definitely going to buy this dip. What dip are you buying? How low does it have to go before you are just like, yes, this is the dip?
If you are not short term and fucking around with leverage, there's no excuse not to buy it. If you think ETH's going to 400 or 200, okay. If you really believe this in your bones, I probably wouldn't buy 1,000. If your target's 800, what are you even doing? Unless you're a short term leverage trader, what does it matter?
Yeah. And I will say this, in the same way that crypto's downside can be absolutely brutal and ruthless and just like take no prisoners, when it starts going up, it can do the exact same thing. And I've seen time and time again, going back, all those people that I had a buy order at this, I had a buy order at this, and it just fucking leaves them in the dust, right? I'm just going to use current prices: $1,000, waiting for 800, waiting for 800, waiting for 800. I'm not saying it's going to happen, and in fact, I'm absolutely not betting on it. We could wake up tomorrow and it's $1,500. Very likely not. It can happen. One day it will happen. And everybody that was waiting to buy now is buying double the price that they wanted to buy, right? So what are you trying to make that extra 25% for on the downside?
I mean, look, there is definitely risk this week. Nobody thinks this thing could bounce hard, and it's hard to blame them. This downtrend has been no counter rallies, none. The best we've done is go sideways in a range for a long amount of time. This is something that a lot of crypto natives have noticed and has actually scared them, that there have been no counter, none. There are no buyers on the even now.
I think we already had our counter rally when we went back up to 4,000.
Well, what? Yeah, exactly.
I don't think we thought we were in a bear market then, but like it's looking like it's been going on for a lot longer.
Our one counter rally was from 2,100 to 3,600, and since then it has been down only. And that concerns people because as it gets cheaper, you would think it would find buyers, right? But you're talking about a worldwide macro liquidity pullback. I'm not calling it a crisis. It's just people are hesitant to spend on risk assets. You're much more likely to spend on stuff because you know that your buying power may be less tomorrow. Okay, so it's the opposite of deflation, where you hesitate to buy anything because your money may be worth more tomorrow. And that's one of the negatives to Bitcoin in a way, is when it's an appreciating asset and dollars are deflating against it, people are hesitant to buy things with their Bitcoin. It hinders it from becoming a currency, because why would anyone spend something they think is going to go up? And it's the same with your dollars. If prices are going down, why would you go buy stuff if you think you're going to be able to buy it cheaper later? So you're seeing that with risk assets right now. People know that in these type of environment, risk assets sell off. So why would you take dollars and buy risk assets? The moment we get macro clouds parting, and I do think that's going to start to happen next week, crypto has a good chance to rally pretty hard. 1,500 is a chip shop. 1,500 is underneath the last chance support we had. You couldn't even call it bullish. It would just be a reflexive move back up.
Yes. Yeah, it can happen. It can happen very quickly. I mean, if I was sitting on $10,000 in capital, like cash right now, would I just slam the market buy button on all of it here, right now?
Finally.
No. What?
These goddamn demons actually long $10 million worth of Bitcoin. Like every time we're right near collapse or right near resistance, they fucking short it. I mean, you can watch the large whale trades all day. Short. They finally long some fucking Bitcoin.
There you go. I think I'm gonna look it up. Bullish. All right. Yeah. Kind of a pump fake on the wrapping it up there, but we're gonna wrap it up right now. On that note, I just want to say thank you to everybody that tuned in, and thank you for everybody's patience in this time. Sometimes not 100% consistent on our schedule, and I will say going forward that might be the case for a little bit too. Is there 5 days a week of content in this? Like, if you guys are enjoying just hanging out there, like maybe. But for the time being, it'll always be at 9:30. It'll always be between Monday to Friday. We'll definitely bang out a couple of shows a week here. So just stay tuned. Obviously, we always post it in the AlphaMint general chat, the Discord and whatnot. But just trying to do things to like keep it fresh, keep it exciting. Hanging out's always great and stuff like that, but it's this market is difficult. There's a lot of people that are struggling, and everybody feels it, including us. So we're just doing our best to be here for you guys on a regular basis. But just bear with us in the meantime. There will become a time where everything gets not only incredibly exciting again, but incredibly lucrative and profitable. But we'll be here in the meantime. So we love you guys. We appreciate it. Obviously, this is all recorded. If you tuned in late, lots of market talk, a little bit of NFT talk with the Goblins doxing. Very exciting for the Truth Labs and the Illuminati Collective going on a bit of a run. Happy Friday, guys.
Did you see the coin they're releasing, DN?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, Goblin D's nuts.
Is that what it is?
No.
Oh, you just got me.
I just got you. Well, I didn't get you because you didn't react. So you were stone faced. You did well. You did well. You didn't buy it. So.
Yeah, no, I've heard enough of those to be suspicious. I was like,
You're supposed to go DN. What's DN? Goblin D's nuts, bitch. That's
Hey-o. There we go. All right, free market, get us out of here.
Did you see the rally in Milady's?
Milady's? No.
Milady's nuts on your face. All right, I think we're done.
Perfect. All right, free market, get us out of here.
Good luck at the tables, D-Gens.